Good morning again, everyone. Today is a fairly warm day compared to how it has been. You can hear the birds a-chirping. You can hear the farm equipment just firing up, if you can hear that in the distance. I don't know if you can or not. But I wanted to talk about the necessity of organization and activism just in spirit. Not about anything in particular, but the spirit of why it's important to organize and to care. In America, right? This can apply to wherever you are, but I'm going to use America as an example here. In America, a few hundred years ago, there was this concept of no taxation without representation. There was the spirit of pioneering, of going to a land that no king and no religious structure owned. And you got to forge and make of that land whatever you wanted. You got to celebrate your religion, your family, celebrate the land or worship your ancestral spirits. Whatever the hell you wanted, you got to do on your land, on the piece of land that you bled for, that you fought for, right? That's a good thing. That's the spirit of having your own destiny in your hands, being in control of your fate, right? And in America, that was sort of the pinnacle of the expression of what it was to come to this country and to forge our way to create things. Since then, a lot has gone wrong. You can say what you want about the War of Northern Aggression, about the Great World Wars, about who controls the media and the banks and all this other stuff. I'd probably agree with you with most of it. But all of that aside, we have to look at where we are now. There's no more land to go to. We don't have spaceships and the technology yet to hop on board and to go civilize a moon or another planet in a far-off star system. We don't have that ability yet. What we have is this planet and the lands and the technologies available to us now. I gotta switch arms. I need to get me one of those carrying sticks so I can just casually speak at this length, but I've gotten accustomed to holding the phone, so. But the reason I bring all of this up about activism and organization and caring is to separate ourselves from an oppressive structure like our forebears did. I bow to no king and to one God. I'm going this way. No more of your kingdom. No more of your taxes. And if you come over here, I'm going to shoot you if you try to make me take a knee or steal my shit. We need that today, but we can't have that in how our enemies and our governments and the megacorps, they own everything. We can't do that anymore. We can't just say, okay, I'm going to go up to Canada and I want to shoot all these Canadians here in Quebec. And hey, this is new Yizz land now. That don't work. Like, we can't do that. I mean, we could do that, but it wouldn't work. So what I'm saying is we have to get used to the idea of separation while still not being physically separated, right? The reason why I think it is important for us to start to separate from megacorps, from all of the government programs, whether they be education, welfare, etc., why we need to wean ourselves off of reading books on Kindle, ordering things from Amazon, picking up everything from Costco or Walmart. These are tools of enslavement. This is a religious, spiritual, and economical war being waged against the people of Western countries. And yes, I hear those of you out there that say, yes, it's all countries. Fine, I'm not talking about all countries. I'm talking about my country. I'm talking about the West. The people that want to enslave us, they do so through making us creatures of habit and weakness, and we willingly step into the cages. We willingly put on the shackles and do their bidding. We need to break that. We need to break those chains, break those lies, break the cycle. How do you do that? In my opinion, it's by peaceful separation that you have to work on building. And that's what led me to guys like OREL and the Pull Strap Project guys I had on a year or two ago. People that want to build their own way, their own structures, separate from all of this globo-homo mess. That's a good way forward. But we also shouldn't give up and completely withdraw from the world around us, because not only is that going to make us stagnant, but it's going to deprive the children that we must raise from knowing what's going on outside of the protected shell that we raise them in. So, I do think we should pursue new ways of communication, technology, production, trade, ways that we can grow chickens and food and shit together and share with each other, ways that we can communicate with one another that don't require corporate interfaces, that don't require even the internet. I think that people that care about Western civilization need to put their efforts into these things. Homeschool your children, private school, community school. That's a bunch of people that want to do homeschooling together in a community. Like out here, they do that. And by doing that, you create the insular necessary community building blocks for trade, commerce, even things like manufacturing. Like, let's say that this area only had 10,000 people instead of the like 800 that it does, right? Out of 10,000 people, people could pull their resources pretty easily to have a basic fabrication module or two, a basic grow lab or two that could work year round, basic generation, solar, wind. We could have all kinds of things. And if it starts with building community connections and family. And now the activism side of things is, yes, I think that federal elections in the West, pretty much universally, are just a smoke and mirrors show by the people with real power to let the regular masses think that they have a say in anything. That doesn't mean that we should completely give up, though. Locally, your votes, your phone calls, and your emails can make a really big difference. Like out here, the county sheriff might win by 120 votes, 150 votes. Out here rurally, the people that run your schools, that run your municipalities, that staff your public offices, they might only get 100 emails a year. If you get 15 or 20 people at your church pissed off about something, and they all go down to the so-and-so's office, or they all send the same kind of angry email, that matters locally. That can stave off the anti-white progressive cancer from your area for years. So we should be active on that front too. So I get into arguments with lots of you guys on Discord and shit, where some of you are like, oh, we got to put all of our effort into reclaiming the institutions and all that. I'm not so much on that team. I'm more on the separate, let's create our own way team. But I don't think we should give up on either one, because we all live in different stages of this decay. Some of y'all that listen to me, you might be stuck in these awful anti-white hellholes of cities. Probably ain't a lot of way for you to peacefully distance yourself from that or have your local vote matter much. So, to you guys and women, maybe you should focus on moving away from these cancerous, awful cities and moving out to a place like here. Or maybe close by these cities, there's going to be a lot of white flight going on. You can meet up with other conservative-minded folks and liberty-minded folks that want to have a more traditional American way of life and work with them. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if you're near one of these awful cities, maybe just in the county outside, you can have a lot of influence with the locals. Maybe move one county over. Now, for the rest of y'all, probably like me, you don't live near these big cities. You probably don't live in these horrible states. So you have a lot more going for you. You can have a lot of land. Like out here, you can buy 4 or 5 acres of land for like $5,000, depending on if it's shitty land or not. You can get old houses that need a lot of work for like $8,000, $10,000. It ain't hard to move real far out local and make whatever money you bring with you from a big city go a long way. Like just 2 hollers over that way, there's a 3-bedroom house with like 1.5 acres of farmable land, and it's only $80,000. Like, that's nothing. That's not even rent in some big cities for a year. So you guys that are living in cities or live in places where you can make 50, 60, 80 grand a year, start saving your money now or investing now and getting out to these rural places and meeting people like me, meeting folks all across America where you can start building something new. And while you build something new, you can spend a little bit of your time each month at church, at gun clubs, at PTA, or whatever it is you do, talking to other people that are like you and making sure that you guys pay attention to who's going to be sheriff, who's going to lead the county, who's going to be on the county board, and just pay a little bit of attention and keep the anti-white wackadoos out of your rural area. And we can buy ourselves a lot more time doing that. Now, I know that ain't going to fix mass migration. It ain't going to fix globo homo. It ain't going to fix a lot. But it's better than just saying, well, I'm just going to get high and look at porn all day and wait for the inevitable collapse of my civilization. At least if you get off your ass and want to make some kind of future for your children, then at least you'll die knowing that you did something instead of nothing. And I guess that's the point of my entire video today, is I am sick and tired of talking to people who are ready to give up. I'm sick of it. I hear it all the time on Discord, in emails, on Telegram. I hear people telling me all the time, oh, well, the J's own all of this, or the B's and the Browns and the F's and all them. There's just too many. They're overrunning everything. Okay, well, if you're going to give up and that's how you feel about it, go jump off a bridge, right? Go live in the middle of nowhere. Or go buy a ship and sail across the ocean and never be seen again. But for the rest of you who don't want to give up and think our civilization and our people is something worth having in the future, do something about it. Send emails, get connected. I'm going to be putting a lot of links in the description of this video of people that you can go look into, people that do active stuff in real life, people that are interested in hooking up and making real life connections and doing things together and being active. If what I have to say inspires you, check out all these links below and get involved with something, because something is better than nothing. And that's the end of it today. Keep heart and fight smart, everybody.